Okay, so today's deck is a fun little janky pile of Azorius. This is the Mythos of Aluna copy combo, and it stars the namesake Mythos of Aluna, a 2 and 2 blue sorcery that creates a token that's a copy of target permanent. So this can target lands or any of your permanents, and any of your opponent's permanents for that matter. So the way that this deck decides to go off is through Anointed Procession, a 3 and a white enchantment that basically doubles your token production. Now, what happens is if you copy an Anointed Procession with a Mythos of Aluna, you make two token copies of the Anointed Procession. And if you do it again, you make 6 times, and then, it kind of just continues going up from there. Exponential increase, and you get a lot of tokens. You'll hit the token limit cap real quick on Magic Arena. So some fun things to copy are Ixalan's Binding to prison out your opponent. You can make a bunch of Baneslayer Angels and just lifelink and kill pretty much anything. You could copy a bunch of Elspeth Conquers Deaths in the prison kind of in the prison vein. And a really interesting one is you can copy the Mirari Conjecture. Now, when you copy the Mirari Conjecture, its first thing is to return an instant. That can get you back, actually not much in this deck. I think we run like maybe 1 or 2 instants. But the big one here is on turn 2 or Saga Chapter 2, you can return a sorcery from your hand. So you can get back your Mythos of Aluna on that turn. And basically, if on that turn you just use the Mythos of Aluna to copy the Mirari Conjecture again, you can actually just go infinite with this and basically make a bunch of Mirari Conjectures. And then when those hit number 3, your Mythos of Alunas that you're casting get copied. And once you have a bunch of Mirari Conjecture copies, you absolutely splat out token copies all over the board. It's amazing. We also run Shipwreck Dowser in case we don't have the Mirari Conjecture on board. This is a bit better because it's also a body, and it also runs It also has prowess on it. So getting a Mythos of Aluna back is just, one time at a turn to copy your Anointed Procession is good. And then down the line, if you run into Mirari Conjecture, that's great. But if not, it's not really a worry. And in the current aggro-filled meta, we have 4 copies of Doomscar and a 1 of Cleansing Nova to help clear the board. And then in terms of getting through our deck, we run Chart a Course to draw cards and Cloudkin Seer to get a card and be a body. Fae of Wishes is here in case we need to go grab something from the sideboard. And the sideboard can be honestly whatever you want. I'm just running a couple random things in here. One big one being Clear the Mind to give us some game against Mill. There is the 4th Anointed Procession out of the sideboard in case we need to get that. And then Smothering Tithe is a fun one. If you copy this a bunch of times, your opponents will never be able to pay for your Smothering Tithe, and you'll make so many tokens. Ashiok's Erasure is another, is not really one that you can copy effectively, but is a good enchantment to have in case it's relevant in your matchup. Devious Cover-Up helps us shuffle things into our library if we're in a mill sort of situation. And then there's a bunch of just random other crap that we might want to have. The second Mirari Conjecture either can go into the main deck or can be moved up into the accessible part of the sideboard, depending on if you want to do that. So, this is our Azorius Mythos copy combo. Let's see if we can make it happen. This thing is high jank, and it's going to be a wild ride. And by wild ride, I mean we're going to get bowled over by aggro combo. Let's see it happen. Alright, here we go in round 1. So we're off a 2-lander. We have the Doomscar ready to go, but we just need 1 more white mana for it. And then we have a bunch of 5-drops. I think we can do better than this. I'm going to mulligan. 3 mana, have the Anointed Procession, and a Cloud Conceer for turn 3, and the Mythos. So I just bought him Shipwreck Dowser. Get out of there. And cool, so we're Hallowed Fountain into Glacial Fortress Seagate. Enter tapped. Boreal Grazer, they're ramping. Blue-green. Not my favorite color pie, or color slice to play against, but we will see what we can do. I'm hoping that my draw or the Cloudkin draw is going to be a land, and we got Gretchen Titchwillow. This is somewhat of a Thrasios Triton hero. We do have the 4th land, and we do have our Cloudkin Seer. We have Binding, in case we want to copy that with Mythos. Ardenvale goes out. We'll put out an Anointed Procession. Then I think what I'm going to do is copy it with Mythos, then cast Shipwreck Dowser, getting back Mythos, and then trying to do something interesting from there. Okay, and wow, we've got the Mirari Conjecture. That's pretty fun. So what I can actually do then is just Mythos, Mirari, and then get back Mythos and cast it. So Mythos on Anointed. No attacks. So this is an infinite mana outlet. We'll have to be on the lookout for ways of making infinite mana in this deck. Eureka Moment. Okay, it's a big growth spiral. They're up to 5 mana, but so am I. Do they have a naturalized type effect? Looks like they don't. So, I can Mirari. And this could be the turn where we go off. We'll see if they can deal with the Mirari Conjecture. It'll be unfortunate if they can. But, you know, green is probably the one color that can do it most effectively. Then we have, like, them on their side of the board doing potentially a combo as well of their own. No idea what that could be, though. Vassalage Surge. So it looks like this is just ramp. Gretchen seems to be just what they do when they don't have cards in hand. So, here we go. We've got Mirari on Mythos. Now, I'm going to Mythos, copying Mirari Conjecture. I just made 8 Mirari Conjectures. Very cool. I'm going to attack with Cloudkin Seer. And I will then chart a course and draw 2. Now I have Angel of Sanctions, which I don't believe I talked about in the deck tech, but this is essentially a Ixalan's Binding without the you can't cast this card clause. Plus it's also a 3/4 body, so this is a great copy target. Ah, okay, so this is Awake in the Woods. Gotcha, loud and clear. So I will return Chart a Course, and then I have nothing else to do. I just will be getting these cards back. Okay. Sure, so now I'm basically going to be able to copy a spell this turn. Now the question is, what do I want to play? I can get an Ixalan's Binding out, I can get an Angel of Sanctions out, and then just exile their whole board. I could... Actually, you know what? That seems fine. So, I'm going to make an Angel of Sanctions. I'm going to get rid of Gretchen so that they can't use their mana. And then I will not deal with any attacks. And then next turn, I'm just going to go off with Mythos. I won't be able to copy any of the I won't be able to copy any of the Mirari conjectures because they'll sacrifice on my upkeep, but we're not going to need it. Angel of Sanctions is going to just take out their whole life. Cool. So, 8 copies of Mythos, huh? How are we going to use this? So, first, Angel of Sanctions. I am going to do some lands. And they've decided they've had enough after seeing my 9 Castle Arden Vales. Alright, we were able to go off in round 1. Really fun. This deck is just absolutely silly. And if you really just want to test the limits of Magic and see how many tokens you can make in one game, this is just a real fun time. Alright, we're on to the next one. Okay, here we are in round 2. We've got the Chart of Course, which should help us find a 3rd land, and then we have the Anointed Procession Mythos kind of deal. So I think this is a good 7 to keep. Opponent on mill, it looks like. So we do have game against this, and one thing that this does help us do is get our Angel of Sanctions embalmed and out onto the field. So we'd love to see that. I think I'm going to start with a Fabled Passage, getting a Plains, and then we're on the Charter Course for next turn. Alright, so this is probably just mono blue turbo mill. It will be interesting to see if we can get there. So I will probably just discard Shipwreck Dowser because this is often not an amazing card for us. Plus Elspeth Conquers Death can get it back. I was afraid of the Ashiok, so that's going to turn off Angel, so it's a good thing that I did not get rid of this Angel of Sanctions. Now I didn't draw a 3rd land, so that sucks. I'm going to lose a Shipwreck Dowser to Ashiok, and I kind of need to curve out 2 mana sources here. And then I need to Ixalan's Binding Ashiok. We're already down half of our deck, and we're still on a 2-lander. I don't know about this one. Not looking too good. I'll discard the duplicate Ixalan's Binding. They'll know what we're on. And yeah, I think that's probably all she wrote. I'll give it one more look at a land, and then that'll probably be the concede. Chart of Course. Can we find a land? Wow. I don't even know how many looks that was, but no land. I think I'm happy conceding this one. Super quick game too. Probably the quickest on the channel so far. That was a little bit of a greedy 2 mana take, but I feel like in a lot of cases we generally aren't punished by that. Mill's tough. You gotta have that contingency plan, but the contingency plan only works if you have the mana to get there. So we'll move on to round 3 and see if we can get back on the horse here. Okay, it's round 3. I have Fae of Wishes, Chart of Course, and 3 lands this time, more than the 2 I took last round. Seems much better. There is my Hallowed Fountain Inn. Ooh, and this is OG Red Deck wins. Haven't seen this in a while. This used to be all the rage back when whatever this set is. The fairy tale one. I'm forgetting the name for some reason. Back when this was a thing, this was such a popular deck. This runs the Snow Lightning Bolt card, so we'll have to watch out for that. Against aggro, I want to play Fae of Wishes. Fae of Wishes, from the same set actually, was always very good at forcing a two-card play. Robber of the Rich, fine. I'll block my 2 damage. And I will be able to stay ahead of them here. My choice is to either play a Fae of Wishes or another Fae of Wishes or the Chart of Course. I want to go down on cards so that I can either trade with the Robber or make them not able to get a card off of me. That's a double block. We'll see if they can double shock something. Lightning Strike and shock. Oh no. They chose wrong. Do they have the shock to follow up? Oh no. So we got the shame concede out of the opponent here after they mistargeted. Alright. Oh, that's a win, I guess. Here we go. On to round 4. So this is kind of a interesting series that we've got going on. We have the shortest loss and the shortest win back to back on the channel. Okay, so I've learned that taking a 2-lander is not awesome even with Chart of Course. So mulligan. 3 mana, sweet. Shipwreck Dowser I don't need. Cleansing Nova I will keep in case we're in a situation that requires it. Okay, got the Ixalan's Binding. Icy Cave of the Frost Dragon, which is not a common card. Probably control deck. Though, if it was a control deck, they'd be playing Storm Giants instead of this card, so we'll see what this is. So this just might be, just Azorius control. If it's Azorius control, yeah. Alright, seeing Shark Typhoons. Think we might be in the control matchup. Now, what to do in this is kind of not clear. If they're playing Planeswalkers only, then I want to deal with those through Ixalan's Binding, or I'll need to... If I don't need to deal with creatures, then Cleansing Nova is not really something that I need to hold on to. Since I have not really been able to tell just yet, I will discard the Angel of Sanctions because this can be embalmed as a activated ability on my turn. And so you can get around a counterspell with it. Seems fine. They're shocking something in. They could be playing any one of the 4-mana white Planeswalkers. If they're doing that, then I would be super down to just get a Cloudkin Seer here, or to bait out a counterspell and put them back a turn on that plan. Okay, Memory Deluge. We're definitely playing against a control deck. Memory Deluge is a hard card to beat. I'll draw my own card. Doomscar seeming like a kind of miss in this matchup. Is this the big Teferi? Or do they just hold up counterspells in this situation? They could be playing the Flash White Planeswalker. Okay, so it's just Teferi Hero. So that gets Ixalan's Binding this turn unless they have a 2-mana counterspell. I don't really have any choice but to attempt it. I can put in a Scryland here, set up my next turn. Baneslayer Angel would be nice to get onto the field. Now we see if Ixalan's Binding sticks. It does. That's awesome.
How long do you want to wait?
Cool. So until they remove Teferi, or until they remove the Ixalan's Binding, there's nothing for them to do in regards to Teferis. I have Angel of Sanctions with an untapped land next turn. Okay. There's the Farewell.
Trust me.
That's kind of a blowout.
You know what?
So I can Elspeth Conqueror's Death, then use Charter Course to bin a Baneslayer Angel.
Let me know if you're up for round 2.
Luckily we haven't run into any Archmage's Charms yet. They have another Teferi, I can Binding it.
I won't hide.
But now they could potentially have enough mana to do something. I think I'm on Charter Course discarding Baneslayer Angel. We got... Nice, this is actually perfect. So I think I do Ixalan's Binding, trying to take Teferi. If they counter it, then I Charter Course discarding Baneslayer Angel. Okay. There goes Teferi.
This is hardly my
Then this goes in. I'll grab a white source. And I want to Charter Course. Discard Baneslayer Angel. I have Mirari Conjecture. Another Farewell hurts here. They discard the Memory Deluge. Wow. So I get a Baneslayer Angel this turn. I'll give it a 1/1. Planes can be played for turn. I feel like I don't need to have a Doomscar out. Worst I gotta deal with is a Shark. Mirari Conjecture doesn't get anything really interesting back except for Charter Course. And it actually doesn't even get it back till next turn. It is the only thing that I can do right now other than Fortella Doomscar. So I guess I'll do that. And... oh, do I really want to do Mirari Conjecture? Against Control, not sure it's the move. I think I'll just play it out. Hopefully bait out a counterspell or let them Memory Deluge in response. Maybe they think that this is more of a useful card than it is and they counter it. Sweet. I'd much rather them do that than any other card in my deck. So they can send off another Memory Deluge, or if they've found their Planeswalkers that are probably 2-ofs, they can do something about that. Seems like Ixalan's Binding dies. Okay. Ooh, and then I'm going to get my Baneslayer tucked.
If you show remorse, I'll show you.
Okay.
Let's skip to the good part.
I can Angel of Sanctions. The Teferi. For all creatures, fine. So yeah, now it's Angel of Sanctions on Teferi. Fabled Passage, not my favorite card to see here, but I am glad to thin out the deck. I think I have only a few more lands left to get out of my library. 2 more. That's good to know. There's Angel of Sanctions, probably eating a counterspell. If they have it, I imagine they're going to counter it. But then I just embalm it next turn. There's the first of the Archmage's Charms. Okay. So what have we seen so far? 1 Supreme, 1 Archmage, 1 Absorb. There's the Narset. Doesn't really hurt me. All I have is Charter Course.
Keep up the pace.
And I guess that does turn off my 3 mana guys, but
Just
whatever.
the trick for this.
They find another Narset. And I think once Teferi ultimates, I can't really do anything about it. Charter Course is functionally not doing anything now. So I'm going to Embalm. That is an ability, so they'd have to react to the ability instead of putting on a counter. So I'll take Teferi, and then next turn try to attack Narset. This is if this even stays around. I cannot Charter Course this turn, but next turn I'll be able to Charter Course without discarding. So, Prison versus Control, I don't think I have the edge in.
Open mind.
I can definitely think of ways to... Oh, bummer. There are definitely ways that I think I could include... I can spice up this deck. For example, I could add a Karn package. And if I really want to lean into the Prison side of things, I can do Karn Liquid Metal Coating. And try to just be that guy. I think by this point, with double Planeswalkers and the counters just in hand, I don't think I have too much of a turn. Yeah, they've got removal now. This is just the this is the up-to-date blue-white control list. I think it's going to be very strong against me. I can't really trade one for one like they can. Elspeth Conquers Death is one of the only things that I could do, but, you know, I'm going to run it out into an Archmage's Charm. Unfortunate. I can't really do it. I can't do that. So I have to wait for them to do something, or I have to try to, like, shove a Charter Course first.
We need to move quickly.
Narset's on 1. Drory Disruption. Yeah, they kind of have all the stuff now. Even if I were to draw a 4 mana answer, I can't double spell with that in Elspeth, so all that it does is eat a Archmage's Charm. There's their win condition. I only have a couple more turns to survive. Basically between 3 and 4 because they can draw every turn with Teferi. I've drawn another board wipe, which is just not useful in this situation. So we have to see if the ECD can do anything. And the Dovin's Vita, they have it. That's a bummer. In response, I'll foretell and say GG. They've turned the corner. We were just a couple of turns there from getting the March cast on us, and we can't really come back from that board state. Okay, so the round 4 game against Control didn't go too well. But we finally got a match that was not more than 2 minutes, so at least we had something interesting happen. We're on to round 5 now, where we'll see if we can do the combo again. Okay, round 5. 2 mana hand. Got the Doomscar. 1 white mana helps us stabilize against aggro. Plus we have Fae of Wishes. So basically this hand should be pretty good unless we're playing against a control deck. In general, this deck I think is pretty soft to control, just because we are essentially a bad mid-range deck trying to do a little combo. So they are at least on creatures, so I don't feel stupid for the Doomscars, but I will play Fae of Wishes first. Now this could be a 1/1 tribal deck. Maybe they run the pinging enchantments. They could be deciding whether or not to lightning bolt me or lightning strike me. Okay, just some more 1/1s. Fae of Wishes is happy to soak up the damage from those. Now I can Fortella Doomscar and just hold that for the blowout. This might end up just being a control kind of game where instead of me playing counter spells, I play just some weird enchantments, and the board wipes have the same functionality as the last deck that I was playing against did against me. Now that's a bunch of creatures. I'll trade for Foundry Street here and then just wipe them next turn. But okay, so either I do that or I take 6 next turn if they cast something. Yeah, I think I'm probably just wiping the board. Cool. Destroy all creatures. And then grab a blue mana source. Alright. Chart of course, I can start to Ixalan's binding their creatures. Or, yeah, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. If they play the cards that deal damage when 1/1s attack, then I will Ixalan's binding those. And I will just do my best to board wipe them repeatedly until I can do my thing. One more land gets me Cleansing Nova. I think I'll use my board wipes to answer their creatures and then use my Ixalan's binding and copies to handle their enchantments. 4 mana. I guess I'll just be on Ixalan's binding for now. Looks like they're on some sort of spells. Take you. And it is time to become the prison. Okay. Oh, it's like kind of Goblin Tribal. That's interesting. I think a Doomscar is good here. While I wait for that last land to show up. I think a Baneslayer Angel is just GG here. Oh, okay, so this is like, this is just low to the ground goblins. That's a interesting... Oh my god, I can just copy the Chieftain. I kind of want to do that. I need to copy my Anointed Procession and then copy the Chieftain. No, I can't do that. I have to copy, oh man, another Anointed Procession. I think it's just a little bit too late for that. So I have to Mythos my Chieftain. Thank you, sir. No attacks. Now I've got something to trade him for. I do have Cleansing Nova next turn and then a Baneslayer Angel to stabilize. And I can copy it too. Ooh, or maybe I'm just dead. I think he has it because he's been holding up spells the whole time. Yeah, oh, he's got it. Bummer. I was about to get the Baneslayer Angel copy going. Okay, just lost to burn. That kind of is expected. They were on a really interesting and I have to imagine not effective 1/1 Goblin and pump them deck. Anyway, that was round 5. We're on to round 6 now. Okay. So they've mulliganed, and I have a 2-lander with some blockers and a Doomscar and a Mythos. This is honestly something that I would keep. Alright, tapped Blood Crypt. What could we be up against here? They mulliganed down 1. Okay, could be Marty Control. I don't like it very much. I have to shock in the Hallowed Fountain here. So that I can play a Fate of Wishes to get in front of Dreadhorde Butcher. They could just Angrath's Rampage me here, which just gets really sad. Oh, okay, it's a hideaway deck. Very cool. That's fun. I have not actually played against this version of the hideaway deck. Usually I'm playing a different one. So, I have Fabled Passage. I can Doomscar. I can prepare for the Doomscar, rather. Grab my white mana. Now I'm pretty much ready for all eventualities. Now the question is, what are they trying to get under their hideaway? Okay, it's another hideaway. So they have to cast a multicolored spell and then pay 5? So they have to have 7 mana. Right now they have just 4. But it looks like they can accumulate that pretty easily. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I don't have enough multicolored spells to rationalize copying one of those, but that would be cool. And I don't really have the payoffs in my deck. Do I want to cast something out of my sideboard? I could get an Anointed Procession. Why not? Let's do it. There is Anointed Procession. There's also Smothering Tithe. I'm going to take Tithe. Start to tax them on their draws. They don't seem to be close to doing what they're going to do, and if I can limit their mana, it's good for me. Okay, so Carnival Carnage. Discard 2 cards. I'll get rid of my Shipwreck Dowsers. Now they have 6 mana. They still need to cast a spell. Well, actually, they can hide away now. Okay, so I can Ixalan's Binding on Widespread Thieving. Okay, so we'll just cast that for essentially 3. Ooh, there's the Procession. This is cool. Start taking 2 from Dreadhorde Butcher. I can Doomscar and then not really do anything after that. Yeah, I think the move is to Binding. Take one of their Widespread Thievings. And then now after this, it's Mythos. So if they hit me now, I go to 9, they make a 3/3. I can play Anointed Procession. Then they hit me with a 3/3 again. And then I can play Mythos. Okay, so I'm actually fine playing Anointed. What do they have in hand? Okay. So they don't have the mana to... Oh, they do have the mana to cast it, so it's Croxa. Okay. Maybe I just have to give up on the Smothering Tithe dream for now. I go to 8. So this Dreadhorde Butcher is going to take me to 3. I'll need to discard my island to Croxa coming back in. And turn. So I can get Croxa and Dreadhorde Butcher now. I am actually dead for okay, so now it is Mythos, or I can just Doomscar actually. Yeah, Doomscar is better. Oh, and I'm dead. I forgot about Dreadhorde Butcher being able to do that. Okay, goodbye. Okay, so I think I needed to deal with Dreadhorde Butcher a little earlier. This used to be a really common card in Standard, but I just haven't seen it so long that I forgot the second line of text. Anyway, that was round 6. We got one more try to do the thing. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, we're on the play in the final round. I have my Doomscar, a bunch of lands, an ECD, and an Anointed Procession. This might be as good as we get. Temple of Enlightenment in first as a tap land, or I'll actually see what I need after they play their first land. Green, white, okay. I'm gonna slow roll the temple for now. Authority of the Consuls, okay. Got a potential other Prism deck. Mythos, love it. Doomscar. We'll see if they play creatures. Okay, Satyr Enchanter, interesting. So, is this just Enchantress? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Don't know why you would play it like this, but do your thing. Here's Anointed Procession. We'll copy it with Mythos next turn. Then maybe try to do something with Angel or Elspeth. They're going to make some creatures. That is going to be an issue. Other land. Do I need to have 5 mana here? I don't think I do. Mythos, copy Anointed. I got a Doomscar here. Wedding Vows. See if they decide to attack. I can take out Wedding Announcement or Enchanter. Don't have anything in the graveyard. Oh, but you know what I could do? Is I could Angel of Sanctions. Whatever. Kill Wedding Announcements. Whatever, do your thing. Then later I can board wipe, and then I can get Angel of Sanctions back. Taking Authority of the Consuls, probably. Binding is okay. Oh, we take Anointed Procession? Alright. Okay. Lanes. Well, cool. I can just ECD. And then I Doomscar on my next turn. And then I can bring back Angel again. Or I don't even really need to do that. I'll decide if I want to Doomscar this turn. It'll depend on if they play stuff. Doom Foretold, okay. Well, that makes things really easy. I'm just gonna sack my Angel. Get rid of this. I will... Oh, you know what I could do? I could Angel of Sanctions, taking away all their stuff. I think that's probably worth letting Elspeth fizzle. I get to take out 4 things. I can just take out all their enchantments. Maybe... Yeah, okay, let's do this. Sure. Sure. Okay, so Doom Foretold goes, Satyr Enchanter goes, Wedding Announcements goes, and Authority of the Consoles goes. They make 8 life. And then let's chart a course. Oh, this actually works out really nice. Please let me draw a creature. Oh, yes sir. There's the angel. Ah, beautiful. Life blinker. Now I have a 3-turn clock. I want to take their cost reducer away, and authority is whatever, because I can still deal damage through them. Shipwreck Dowser can take Mythos back, so I want to do that. You know what I'll do? I'm going to copy their authority of the consoles. Yeah, now I have 4 authority of the consoles. Alright. Well, now I'm doing what they wanted to do. Let's see how they like it. Oh. Alright, they'll just play another authority themselves. I still have more than them, though. At this point, I'm just beating down. Doom Foretold, sure. That's fine. I'm going to get rid of my Shipwreck Dowser. Now I can just start making Castle Ardenvale soldiers to pay for the Doom Foretold and to block, since I'm going to be making for them a turn. And they have 1 turn to get out of it. Goodbye, authority. Now that they've sacrificed that, I can do my Castle Ardenvale thing. Oath of Kaya, okay. Okay, so they're going to try to kill me. They go to 5. Can they do it again? Okay, Doom Foretold. Sure. Yep, and we've got it. Alright, kind of a cool round to end it off on. 2 very off-meta decks just going at it. That was a pretty fun series of games. Thanks for sticking with me. Yeah, so that was the Mythos copy Control/Prison. Hope you liked it. If you did, drop a like. Need those to help build the channel. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.